boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me?
When I lost control, we had lost, yeah, we lost control. Yeah, we lost control.
Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me? Love about a liquor boy, will you hit me up? I lost control. Will you help me?
Hello and welcome to Porsche Cup Challenge the Americas division, coming at you live at Hockenheim Grand Prix. And luckily enough for me, I've actually got a guest commentator in the booth with me, James D. Carr. I don't know if you like the middle initial or not, but you got it anyways.
It's always important to add that middle initial. It makes a difference.
Oh yeah. James is an experienced racer. He normally ventures off into the TCR world and now actually the F4 world. So we've got a lot of racing experience and knowledge coming at us with our co-broadcaster here. Hopefully it comes in handy as the race goes on. We've got looking like 30 cars showing up tonight, which is quite a strong field. I'm super excited to see how this goes. What are you thinking, James? What are your 3 points of what would be your three main points of this race? That three main factors.
Three biggest things for me is going to be the start. Can't wait to see people navigate turn 1, the tight section of 2 and 3 together, and I want to see if tires come into play for this. I don't know too much about tires in this section. And 3, I really want to see how people battle around Hockenheim here.
Oh, definitely. And as your point number two, you're talking about tires, they matter a lot. Tires is a huge factor on this car. If you burn up the front really quick, oh, you're done. And if you burn up the rear too quick, you're going to be going off into the wall. It's definitely a huge challenge in this car because there's so much power going to those rear wheels, and you have to really learn how to be easy on it or smooth on it, and in conjunction with the way that you're using your steering. And so you can totally eat up and burn through your front tires through braking, understeering, and all the bad things there, or your rear tires from just being too exciting on your throttle. So it's a lot of factors into play while driving this car. It's absolutely one of the reasons that I do love it a lot. And yeah, I know that you've driven this car before and have had a tough time with it, actually.
That's right. Yeah, coming from the TCR world, front wheel drive, your front's doing all the work, and really your back end is just a passenger in the whole recipe of driving it. This car in particular, I didn't necessarily struggle with just the fronts. I didn't necessarily struggle with just the rears. I actually struggled with all of it. Uh, the balance and overall with this car is really tricky. You've got a lot of weight going over the rear end, and trying to manage the fronts while keeping the weight over the front, and not overdo it, and then not overdoing it on the throttle. It's an incredibly tricky mix with this car. I struggled a lot with it.
Definitely. Have you tried with the tires that they've put on this car for this season and all the aero updates? It's always worth a try, but it sometimes I guess the car just doesn't click for some, and that may just be for you. But I'm glad to have you here in the broadcast booth because sometimes it gets lonely. So glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm gonna have to give it a go for season 2 here because I haven't tried the new updated model. I've heard some people like it, some people don't. We're experiencing the same thing in the TCR world as well. Only reason I haven't got into it this time is because the last season of ATC and this season started, the way they overlapped. Unfortunately, I had to buckle down for ATC. I really wanted a couple more wins under my belt, but I'm interested to get into this one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and you did very well in ATC. And ATC, if anyone out there is listening and remembers that fun event that we did on week 13 at Summit Point with TCRs and Porsche Cup, was hosted in unison in a partnership with the ATC League, which does the touring cars. I don't think you were in that race, but it was a lot of fun. I think we had 35, 40 cars all on Summit Point, multi-class. It was wild.
That sounds like a challenge. Unfortunately, I missed that one. I know I had to miss that one. I don't remember why, unfortunately. So
Oh,
that
you went
means it
to a
wasn't a good
party.
reason.
You went to
Oh,
an F1 party. That's what it was. I
that's
remember.
right. Yes, yes. I
You
left,
went to an F1 party in the
that's right.
morning.
That's right. I do remember that now. It was a good race. I don't remember which race it was, but obviously I should remember that if it was a worthwhile race. I think it was, but yeah, unfortunately, I'd like to make the next one though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna be planning that next one with Logan. So I guess as we go along this season, everyone will tune in, I'm sure, to what that's gonna turn out to be. I'm actually thinking Interlagos, standing start, and try and get 40, 50 cars on that grid and just go for it.
Sign me up.
Sign me up too. I'm not doing the broadcast on that one. You guys can do that. I'm gonna race that one. I'm getting in on the action there. We're done our qualifying. It's time. Exactly, Adrian. It's time. Let's bring up those qualifying results. What everyone's wanted to see all qualifying along. We have 30 drivers in our lobby. Let me see. Come on, bring up the results. Here you go. Let me see if I can get through the entire list in time. Wow, and congratulations, Manrique Valverde, for snagging that pole position ahead of Daniel Thomas, Martial Chauvel from Belgium. Coming in at us from Belgium, Marco Valverde in P4, Corey Lazarus P5 from the World Down Under. As you can see, that Australian flag. Patrick Hingston in P6, not a place he's used to being, I gotta say. Ariel Julian in P7, Young Choi in P8. Wow, look at that time from Ariel Julian. Michael Carrillo, Adam Mora Morrow, Mark Lampert, I'm running out of breath, Aaron Hall, P12, Kevin Sidhu, Ryan Winfeld, Mark Santana, Ryan Bickle, Jack Booster, Chuck Baker, Simon Fell, Anthony Rodriguez, Jeffrey Morello, Dan Morera, Michael David, Ignacio Vieto, Adrian Kukulas, Benjamin Roche, Tom Jenkins, Bradley Husty, and Carlos Odolor, and Aiden Aquino. And part of that may just be me testing myself to see if I can actually say some of these names. I think I did okay.
I'd say you're doing a fine enough job. We'll get the message you're trying to convey.
We'll go with fine enough job. I like it.
I don't think I could do better myself. I'll put it like that.
Oh, no, I don't like that camera view. Here we go. Is this one better? Oh, there you go. Let's get rid of that timing tower so we can see every car on that grid. We're just waiting for a few extra cars to come to that grid, get into their cars and say, yeah, let's go. They've got about 10 more seconds or else they're going to be left out of this race entirely. Definitely not a place I would want to be. Look at this beautiful field of Porsches. And here we go. We've now gotten the green flag to grid. We've got the lights coming on up. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light. Lights are off and away we go. And you see the smokes coming off the rear end of the car heading towards turn 1. We got Daniel Thomas is now in the lead of this race, taking it from... Oh, and there's a spin. That's going to be an unfortunate incident for some. We're going to have to take a look at exactly how that happened later, but don't look yet. We've got Daniel Thomas in the lead of the race, Manrique Valverde and Marco Valverde, all right there and very much in contact with each other. Mark Lampert, a little bit of a gap. Young Choi all the way up into 5th position. Wow, and here we go heading towards the most crucial braking zone of the entire lap, and Manrique is not gonna give up easy. He's going for the lead right away, striking hard and fast, and that's gonna put these guys are now in a 3-way tango.
I love this for Daniel Thomas right now. He's fighting the 2 brothers, I take it. They've got the matching liveries. He's gonna be under a world of pressure.
Oh, definitely. They're actually they're cousins, or are they uncles, aunts, sisters? Yeah, I have no idea. No, they're actually. I know they are cousins. But yeah, that's definitely got to be a lot of pressure. I see a whole bunch of moving and shaking of the field down below. We'll definitely take a look, but we can't look away from the lead of this race and the battle for the lead of this race between these 3. So we'll have to look later on what happened. So it's anybody's guess how this is going to turn out, but yeah. Let's just take a quick look through the field, see how they're doing. It looks like they're all coming through, bunching up in that accordion effect as they hit the braking zone, expanding. Oh, and here's Chuck Baker and Anthony Rodriguez trying to go too wide through this final sequence of corners, and that is definitely not an easy spot to go too wide, I gotta say. It looked like Chuck Baker thought better of it, backed out. Backed out. No, wait, that is... Yeah, that is correct. And, yeah, here we go, heading into turn 2. Who is that making a pass? Car 777... Martial making the nice, beautiful pass on Benjamin Roche up the inside. And here we go with Manrique Valverde hitting that hairpin braking, and here we go. Simon Fell up the inside. We're seeing a whole bunch of passes. And there's Martial making another pass, making easy work of this field. I think he was involved in that spin early on in the race, and that's what's placed him at the back of this field. So I gotta ask, James, when you were driving this car, trying this car out, how did you feel about the brakes of it? Like, did you find that they're difficult to figure out and get right, or what are your thoughts on the brakes?
I have no thoughts of consistency on the brakes. I would manage 1 lap. I felt incredibly confident on the brakes, and then the next lap I would lock it probably the second I looked at the brakes. I don't know how these guys are doing it so consistently. For me, I was a big mess. Oh no.
Oh no, that's really unfortunate. There's a whole bunch of cars going off, a little bit of a yard sale going on, and that's just a show of how difficult this car really is, and how difficult it is to just keep it consistent on this track. It's no easy task, as we're hearing from James. I know personally, I've tried it. It's quite a challenge. It is not easy. We have the beautiful gentleman's Porsche color of purple with Michael Carrillo here, car 129, being followed by a lot of cars. He's got a lot of cars right behind him. He's got, and Ignacio is being challenged by Aiden Aquino for 12th position. Now they're heading towards that heavy braking zone. Let's see who's more consistent with that heavy braking. Just as you're saying, it's not easy to get it right. Looks like Aiden's going down the inside, and he actually, and he got it right. He's throwing a little bit of a defensive move. And a little bit of chaos behind us. Oh no.
Big pile
now we have a 4 wide, 5 wide. What is going on here? Oh my gosh. This is insane. We have a lot of moving and shaking. You can see on our timing tower, James call it out on who the biggest mover and shaker is of our evening.
Well, check out Aiden Aquino. He's up 18 spots. You gotta love that fight. I don't know how he's managed to get through all those people. This, in 3 laps, 18 spots. Absolutely stellar job keeping his nose clean through this section. Especially in such a technical track like this. You've got heavy braking, you've got tight technical spots, like this later portion of the track, Sector 3. I'm really impressed. 18 spots. We've also got Ignacio Viedo, 11 spots right behind him. I wonder if he's just trailing behind him, knowing he's going to do a lot of the hard work for him. Simon Fell, he's an amateur, and he's up 10 spots. Great job on his part as well. Oh, no.
Let's go back to what... So, and now we're following along with Benjamin Roche, who's up 10 spots total. So that's quite a drive for Benjamin Roche as well. One of the steady Eddies. He's a little more conservative in his driving, and it's definitely paid off on this sprint race. He's up 10 spots into 16th, gaining some solid points for his amateur division run to try and get one of those top 3 spots in our season. Coming around that back straight, heading towards the braking zone. Car in front of him has damage. Dan Marrere 404. So Benjamin Roche able to dive up the inside under braking. Is he able to hold it together? He's still got that inside line. He has no aero damage. Chuck Baker going quite a bit wide, it looks like. And there you go with Benjamin Roche making a clean pass on car 404. Heading towards Mercedes corner. Is he going to be able to hold it together? All that pressure, all those cars behind him, and it looks like Benjamin Roche. Oh no, and Chuck Baker not having the best time out there. It's looking like a little bit of a bump onto car 404 from Chuck Baker. Just an unfortunate experience, I guess, for both drivers.
Now, will aero damage make a big effect on these cars? Will it have big negative impacts on this car?
It does and doesn't. It depends where the damage is, how much it is. So if you look at the very front of, right now we're following along with Anthony Rodriguez, and he has a little bit of front end damage. That's going to hurt you a lot in the long run. You're going to lose 5, 10, 15 kilometers per hour on the straights, and that's a lot of speed difference. So you're oh no, and you can see Kevin Sidhu has spun. Oh, and there's Aaron Hall has spun. Oh no. So it does actually make quite a difference. It's the wing damage and front end damage. If you have a little bit of damage on the rear end, it's not going to be a huge factor. But yeah. And here you go, 2 cars heading down that back straight. It looks like Aiden is now up 19 positions. Where does this guy come from? Holy smokes, holy Mackinac. Aiden's now up into 11th. Ignacio just following through all the open doors that Aiden's been unlocking for him, just keeping it nice and clean. Now the likes of Corey Lazarus, one of our fast pro drivers, in a spot I'm sure that he doesn't want to be in. He's down 8 spots total, and he's going to want some of those spots back before the start of this feature race. Now, real quick, I think I can take a look at what happened at the start of this race. Just real quick. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh, just a little bit of a bump. And oh, Ariel Julian, I think just went a little bit wide, and that's exactly what happened there. Just really gunning for it, and just a little bit of an unfortunate situation. Oh, something just happened there. Ignacio Vieto, I think, just went off. I think that was done on his own. No harm, no foul, and it's just one of those self-inflicted injuries.
Yeah, I think I noticed for the start there, it looked like I don't think your spotter gets started up unless you're running crew chief. I don't think you have a spotter for the first few corners on the start, so that might be the explanation for what happened there.
Definitely, and sometimes on these cold tires, the car does not always want to turn. It's sometimes saying, I don't know, I want to keep going straight, and that's I think part of what was happening there. Following along with Corey Lazarus making a pass on Aiden Aquino in that heavy braking zone. Of course, Corey with no damage on his car is going to make short and easy work of that compared to 910 with that front end damage. And all that Aiden can hope for now going forward is just to follow in tow of Corey Lazarus and hopefully opens up some doors for him. Oh, and just as I clicked to him, just as I switched to him, Michael Carrillo has spun, exiting that sequence of Mercedes corner, and down one spot total to be in 10th. Not a bad place to be after having been spinning. You know, it took me a lot longer to get tongue-tied tonight than any other night. So yeah, so now we're 10 minutes in. So you're asking earlier about tire wear and managing the tires and how does that work? Well, now you get to see firsthand how that goes.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm noticing that everyone's getting a little bit looser on exit. Everyone's locking, a front inner tire on, especially the hairpin. I've noticed a little puff of smoke here and there. And especially this tight section, you've got a really slow right-hander, ease onto the power, and then you've got a little lift to go back onto the back straight there. And these guys are doing it side by side, so impressive work from them on used tires.
Heading down this back straight, one car with a tiny bit of aero damage, the other car perfectly clean. Let's see who comes out on top. Under braking, Corey Lazarus is going to have to go around the outside. Michael Carrillo got a much shorter distance to travel. Corey Lazarus trying an over-under. Did it work? Oh, not quite. But he's going to have a much better spot heading towards Mercedes corner, but he's going to concede that position. And here we go. Is he going to make that dive under braking? Not quite. He's going to try and wait it out and find a little bit. Oh, and Michael Carroll getting loose under throttle once again, coming out of that corner. And that's opened up the door for Corey Lazarus to go up the inside around this right-hand corner. And I think Corey's going to have this one done right now. But that, unfortunately, has opened up the door for Aiden Aquino to come through. Oh, and it looks like Aiden's not challenging that too much. He's just wanting to stay nice and easy, be a little bit conservative, and wow, what beautiful racing from these three. And you were wondering how are these guys going to race it out and what's that going to look like, and here you go.
Yeah, this is a great battle so far. 3 cars battling. Oh, we got a little lock up there in front. 3 cars. Now we got 4 cars in the mix. Gotta love that. Can't hurt to have another car in the mix.
Yeah, you know what? 3's never enough. Let's add another. Let's make a 4. Here you go. 2 wide into turn 2. Or is this turn 3? Turn 2. Oh, and Ryan Bickles. Oh, gonna have Michael Carrillo on the inside. Just a little bit of contact. And that's just gonna have a little bit of an unfortunate ending for Michael Carrillo. But again, not too much damage or positions lost, fortunately. Able to carry on. And now Ryan Bickles up into 10th. Fighting with Aiden Aquino. Heading into this braking zone, Ryan Bickle is ahead. Oh, and Aiden's starting to think about how can he make another pass. Look at this, up 19 spots, wanting to make it 20.
I love it. Hard charger. You always have to respect those ones.
Definitely. I'm going to just take a quick jump to the leader of our race, Manrique Valverde, and Daniel Thomas driving the wheels off of this car. As you can see, Marco Valverde is 6.5 seconds behind them. Oh, and he's actually spun. He is
Oh,
now
no.
off of the track. Oh no, that is that's a tough pill to swallow for Marco Valverde. He was having such a great race. He's now being challenged for what he's the 5th position that he's now in by Ryan Winfeld. Ryan Winfeld backing out, thinking better of it. He's going to want to wait for that long straight and that heavy braking zone. But Marco Valverde is so good on those brakes. It's anybody's guess who's going to come out ahead on this one between these two cars. And here we go. Is Ryan Winfeld close enough to gain overlap under braking with that front aero damage? I'm actually going to say no, but we're going to have to just follow along and see how this story plays out right about now. Marco Valverde, no, he's not even going to guard that inside. He's just going to feel that trust with Ryan Winfeld and just race it out, just nice and simple. So back up to that battle with Manrique, Valverde, and Daniel Thomas well ahead of the rest of this field by large margin. And this may be our final lap, so this is for the lead of this race. And so yeah, you're saying that Daniel Thomas has quite a handful with those two cousins. Now it's only one of them. And here we go, coming around the final turn. I don't think that they're going to make it one more lap. Here we go, coming around that final turn. Manrique Valverde is ahead just barely. Daniel Thomas right behind him. He's going to be trying to make a win, take a win for the next race, I'm sure. But congratulations, Manrique Valverde, for winning this sprint race. Congratulations, Mark Lampert, up 8 spots total to grab a podium, benefiting off of everyone else's misfortune. Young Choi as well, just being steady Eddie. Marco Valverde in 5th, Ryan Winfeld in 6th, Simon Fell in 7th, Kevin Sidhu in 8th, Corey Lazarus in 9th. Aiden Aquino is up 20 positions. Look at this. Ryan Bickle in 11. Michael Carrillo in 12, Anthony Rodriguez. Oh, it looks like there's a bit of a spin. Anthony Rodriguez in 13, Mark Santana coming along. He doesn't have any damage on his car, I don't think, but coming across now, he's in 15th position, and he may lose another spot. He's going to have to, there's going to be a drag race to the finish line. Oh, and there you go. It looks like Mark Santana stayed ahead of Ignacio Vieto. Oh, and someone had to serve drive-thru, it looks like. And Anthony Rodriguez, 17. Jeffrey Murillo, 18. Aaron Hall, after we saw him spin, down to 19. Tom Jenkins in 20. Ariel Julian having a race he wants to forget. Michael David with a little bit of a crunched-up nose and beaten up back, 22nd. Jack Booser, the car that's seen better days, I'm sure. Dan Morera having a tough run at it as well. I wish all of these drivers better luck. There goes Jack Booser, I think, into the pits. I wish all of these drivers better luck in our feature race. Of course, it's a 30-minute feature race. And so, yeah. So now that you've seen this race, James, what would be... If you were in the middle of this field, what would be your 3 key points of your next race coming up in our feature?
I would definitely say focus on the start. You gotta not spin those tires. Don't want to overcook it into turn 1. You know who's fast. You know who did well that race. So now you know who to follow. If you're not the fastest guy on track, you know who to follow for the next few laps because they will help you get through the field. That's what I'm focusing on for the second part. Third part, making sure I ease into the tires. I really got proof. 15-minute race, you're starting to wear out those tires. I'm definitely trying to save those tires for later in the race. You saw in the end there, Vieto was only 1/100th of a second behind him. I bet you if he would have saved just the tiniest little bit more tires, he might have had a better jump, might have got one more spot on the line.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. You never know. Maybe we'll see that coming along in our feature race. It's anybody's best guess. And of course, our top 8 in our grid are reversed. So heading into our 30-minute feature race, 8th position is now going to be starting first. Simon Fell is going to be starting 2nd, Ryan Winfeld 3rd, Marco Valverde 4th, and so on down the list. Mark and Manrique Valverde, who won our sprint race, is going to be ending up in 8th position on the start of this grid. So It's anybody's guess how this is going to turn out. Super exciting race so far, I gotta say, with a lot going on. And so I'm really curious to see how these drivers manage it, how they manage turn 6. It is a deadly, deadly turn. And so, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing the two top amateurs in the points right now, Simon Fell and Young Choi. Young Choi got 4th, Simon Fell got 7th, so they're gonna be real close in points after that sprint race. Now for the 30-minute feature, Simon's ahead. I can't wait to see Young Choi catch up to him.
Definitely. And don't forget about Mark Santana, who's had quite a run himself that race, and he may be able to get some good points here. And here you go with the lights going on, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. 5 lights, the lights are off, and away you go. It looks like Simon Fellow's heading up the inside. Ryan Winfeld got an excellent launch, and he's made a pass on Kevin Sadu as well. And we have all of these cars. Oh, and there's a little bit of a spin in the back of the field. Luckily, not too many cars taken. Oh, hey, and there's the Pokemon car of Jack Booser. Simon Fell, going wide. Going a little bit deep. Oh, and there's a Mark Lampert has spun, and he got pushed to going forward again. That's lucky of him. Ryan Winfeld is now in the lead, and Manrique Valverde is already in 2nd place. Look at that. What a beautiful drive. Let's pull up that timing tower.
Oh, he's in the grass.
Oh, Manrique Valverde making a dive for the inside under heavy braking, and he is now in the lead of this race after just a few corners. What a beautiful drive from Manrique, and he's going to look to run away from it, the field. And Ryan Winfeld now in 2nd after that great start from him as well. Simon Fell, and he's now missed another braking zone. That is real unfortunate of Simon Fell. Starting up in the lead, and now he's down to 5th. Oh.
Bit of a chaotic start there. Unfortunate Fell missed the brakes a couple times, just a little too deep. That's going to hurt him a little bit overall. But Young Choi also didn't have a good start. It looks like he's down a lot of spots, so Simon Fell's going to be relieved about that.
Definitely. And here we got 2 wide under braking with Adrian and Jack Booser. And it looks like Michael Carrillo has gone off, and that's going to be an unfortunate event for him. Luckily, looks like no damage, able to just rejoin the race and be on his merry way. I want to actually take a quick look. Where is Daniel Thomas? Daniel Thomas started in started in 7th because of the reverse grid, and now he's down to 13th from all of that chaos. And what a crazy start. Oh wait, actually I had it all wrong. This is Marco Valverde, not Manrique Valverde.
Yeah, he got the reverse grid pole, didn't he? Didn't he start in 8th position?
No, I made a mistake. That was actually, I thought it was Manrique Valverde who made his way through the field very quickly. It's actually Marco. Marco started and he's either 4th or 5th. And so here is Manrique Valverde. I've now got them correct. Who Manrique is right next to Daniel Thomas. So he's actually, I take all that back. It was a great drive from Marco Valverde. So it appears actually that Manrique Valverde and Daniel Thomas are struggling to get through the field and break through. So that's actually very interesting, isn't it?
That is quite interesting. What a drive from him.
Yeah, what a drive. Well, what a drive to keep it safe still and keep it going. It looks like they have no damage on their cars, and unfortunately they've lost some positions in this feature race. But and there's Adam blinking just a little bit. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so they're down a few spots from where they started, but these guys have so much pace. Daniel Thomas, Manrique Valverde, all of them, all of these pro drivers, even Adam has pace. And so it's going to be, I'm sure they're going to have enough time to work their way back up to where they feel they belong. So yeah, that's really interesting. I don't think I've seen that before, where one of the top drivers falls below 8th, have you?
No, it's pretty uncommon. Usually a lot has to go wrong for that to happen. You know, myself in particular, I'm a little bit of an off-track gatherer. I like to take drive-throughs, and that's costed me a couple of positions. So
you don't say.
Below 8th position, That's probably what went wrong for myself.
Yeah, and there we go. We can see Kevin Sidhu missing that braking point just a little bit, going a little bit wide under that heavy braking zone there, and it's brought Simon Fell and Martial Chauvel into the mix. I think I'm saying that one right, Martial. And wow, look at this pace of Martial. He is now getting up behind car 256, trying to find a way to break through. Oh, and we have some cars out on the grass. Just real quick, I'm going to go right back to where the race is. I want to see how this unfolds. Martial Chauvel, and yeah. So who would be your top pick for pro? Who's your favorite and top pick for pro, and who's your favorite top pick for amateur so far?
So myself, I'm Canadian. So right now I'm seeing that nice big green arrow plus 15 for Adam Morrow. I don't know too much about him, but he's quietly having a great race. I think he's in a great spot right now. He's right behind Daniel Thomas, Enrique Valverde. He's right behind them. He's going to love being in this position. He's my favorite pro so far. Favorite amateur. I'm really hoping for... I'm hard focused on Young Choi and Simon Fell. I want to see them do well. Kevin Sidhu, another Canadian, up in P4. Love seeing him up there.
Definitely. And Simon Fell is currently the leader of the amateur division, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, and there you go, with Martial making a dive up the inside under braking on Simon Fell. Simon Fell is down now 4 spots total from where he started, but it's still a real great place to be, away from all of that chaos behind him. He can just leave it in his dust and just have a nice, focused, safe race going forward. I believe it's Simon Fell is... Oh, no. Who was that? That was Kevin Sidhu spinning under, getting a little bit excited on his throttle. Did you say broadcaster curse?
Yes, absolutely. I want him to do well, so naturally, you've got to spin it. That's what you have to do.
Oh, buddy. Usually it's Young Choi getting the curse, and I guess it's someone else has got to take it. I know that a lot of times when I'm following Aaron Hall here, a lot of times he'll spin off and go off the track, and he's now being challenged by the likes of Daniel Thomas, our second position, how do you say that, our podium driver of our sprint race. So let's see how this goes. And is Daniel Thomas going to make a move now? Is he going to wait? Let's see. Oh, he's got a good run on him. Aaron Hall is not defending it. He's going to allow Daniel Thomas up the inside. Daniel Thomas is going to think better of it. He's going to want to wait until this real long straight. And there he goes now.
That was a great setup by, oh my God, I'm forgetting his name. Daniel Thomas right there. That was a fantastic setup. See, he fakes the inside, makes Aaron Hall break a little bit deeper, and then Thomas, what he does is he scoots back in, gets a better exit for the long straight to make that pass.
Yeah, definitely. Daniel Thomas is a driver we've seen around our areas quite a bit, and we've seen his strong racecraft. He will get you with his pace, and he'll get you with his brain. There's no doubt about that. He is no slouch behind that steering wheel and pedals, and you're seeing it live right here. I want to take a quick look at where is Manrique Valverde is in 9th. So he's gained back a lot of his spots that he'd lost off of his funky start. He's got a little bit of front aero damage, but I know with a driver of this pace, it's not going to bother him that much at all. So he is now up into 9th, and I'm sure that there's more to come. Oh, and who's that? That looks like Martial has spun. Let's just take a real quick look at how did that happen. Coming around this last sequence of corners, it's not easy to manage. You have to balance the front and the rear all at the same time and rotate the car, and you just get a little bit juicy. You hit that curb and away you go. And he was very lucky to be able to get out of the way for the rest of the cars to pass by. Very smart, quick thinking to make that move off the track without impeding the other drivers. Great awareness from the other drivers to know where to go and just beautiful and sad all at the same time.
You're right. There's nothing worse than lighting up the rear. We all wish there was infinite rear grip, but unfortunately, sometimes in that tight section, you just touch the throttle too hard, you touch a curb, unsettles the car, and you're going to have a bad time. You're going to spin yourself there. He's going to be kicking himself after that one.
Oh, definitely. And I think that I don't think you've actually finished a race with us. You have tried, I think, 3 races now, and I don't think you've finished a race.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up. Now you're telling. I feel that's a personal attack and a challenge for myself to actually finish one of these races.
Well, I know you love those challenges, so are we going to see you on Sunday? We'll see.
We might. I think I have Sunday free.
Perfect. Let's see you finish a race. That's the Porsche Cup Challenge. So we're now following along with Ryan Bickle and car 55, Aaron Hall, and Manrique Valverde. Just as I was saying earlier, with that pace, he's brought himself up to the bumper of Ryan Bickle and Aaron Hall. Now he's trying to make some passes and make some action happen, and trying to get right back up to Daniel Thomas and start challenging for another podium position after that reverse grid top 8. As we can see in this track in these conditions in this car, it's not an easy feat to manage, and these 2 drivers of Daniel Thomas and Manrique Valverde they're actually doing it quite well, I gotta say. And now Manrique Valverde is going around the outside. Looks like Aaron Hall is just letting him have it. He wants to follow in Manrique Valverde's wake and allow him to open up the doors. Oh no, I take that. Oh, there you go. Okay. I take that back twice. Aaron Hall does concede the position, drive a conservative race, and just wants to finish.
Sometimes that is the smarter move. If you know you're at a pace disadvantage, there's no sense using all your tires trying to keep up. Sometimes it's better to slot in, save your tires. Maybe the person in front makes a mistake. He might know that person might make a mistake. Some people are creatures of habit.
Definitely. I know that in a lot of ways I would rather give up the position and live to fight another day than to fight and just get absolutely blasted and screwed, really. I know that in the TCRs, the world that you come from, it's basically fight every position every single time. So yeah, is that... Oh, it looks like Jack Booser has spun out of that corner. Would you say that's a good take on how it goes over there?
Well, I have to say, starting of the season with TCR, usually speaking, it's pretty cordial. But once you start getting into that later, tighter in the points, it gets pretty elbows out. Sometimes you'll go too wide for multiple laps in a row, have huge packs in racing. Watkins in particular, last season, you'll have huge packs of cars. And I have to say, a lot of bumpers, carbon all over the track. It's a love-lost sport in this TCR.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good description of that. I like that. As it goes on, it gets a little bit tighter, a little bit more aggressive. Every position seems to matter more, and that's almost what we're seeing here as well. And here we go, going down the back straight. These guys are gonna go at it one more time. I know that they did this last lap. They're gonna do it this lap. This may be happening all race long between Adrian Kukulas and Tom Jenkins. Adrian on the inside lane position, getting ahead with that scary shark fin, but getting a little bit juicy on his throttle. It may not pay off, but he's still ahead actually, and Tom Jenkins behind. And here we go, heading into Mercedes corner. Let's see, it's anybody's guess how that's gonna happen. It looks like Adrian is on the throttle, nice, easy, and consistent, and is still ahead of car 86. Look at that paint. What do you think of that paint?
The big shark mouth?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what it is. I love it. There's nothing more aggressive than a shark's mouth. You gotta say, oh, a little walk up there. It was a little wide. I don't think it's gonna hurt him too much here, though.
Yeah, and it's definitely challenging. We are following along with Aaron Hall, who's just let Martial Chauvel pass, and it's just another strategic move by car number 10 to let him by, follow in his wake, and hopefully gain another spot, live to fight another day, and hopefully Martial opens up some of the doorways that Aaron Hall is hoping for. And yeah, this car does not have ABS. It does not have traction control, and that's the challenge. And here you go, Manrique Valverde making the dive under braking up the inside on Simon Fell, making up one more position and starting that chase once again for Daniel Thomas. And it's anybody's guess how this is going to end. We've got 15 and a half minutes left in this race, and a lot can happen. Just as we've seen at that race at Fuji a few weeks ago, Daniel Thomas, that race, was in the lead, hit a few curbs, and a few other drivers spun, and all of a sudden Adam Morrow actually came out as the winner. It was quite a race, and that is proof that absolutely anything can happen at any point in any race. So don't count your chickens before they hatch, and yeah. Here we go with Corey Lazarus is getting even closer to Ryan Winfield. I'm wondering if he's going to start thinking about making a pass, or is he going to just chill out behind? Oh, it looks like we got too wide through the final sequence. Oh no, a little bit of banging, and it looks like everyone's getting through unscathed, and Martial has just made a pass. One more pass. So who's our biggest movers and shakers tonight? Walk us through it, James.
So starting from the back, Bradley Husty, he's moving up. He's up 12 spots. A lot of chaos at the start. He might just be hanging out, but the pack isn't too far spread out, so he's actually done a good job getting through the field as well. A little bit higher, we got Adrian Kukalas. He's moving up 12 spots as well. Adam Morrow, I like the name. He's from the right country. He's up 16 spots. Tucked in nicely, just a second and a half, a little over that, behind Ryan Bickle there. Ryan's having a battle with Ryan Hall. Adam Morrow, he's 16 spots up. He wants 17, maybe 18. He's waiting for something to happen there. I think he might do something about it.
Definitely, he's getting closer and closer to Ryan Bickle. So definitely don't count out the likes of Adam Morrow. Adam Morrow currently, I think, is P2 in our season. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So he's had quite a run this season. Oh, and Ryan Bickle getting a little bit loose off that curb. That's quite a big sausage curb that will throw the car. And that was quite a recovery and quite a catch to not spin.
That's correct. Adam's licking his lips when he sees that. He knows he's losing some rear tires. If he keeps his head in check, he'll get a spot.
Oh yeah, just gotta keep his head down, keep his head clear and clean, and it's gonna be an easy spot, I'm sure. Now we're following along with the likes of Mark Santana, who's our usual steady Eddie of the evenings. In car 333, he's got a battle with Young Choi, who's down 17 spots. Mark Santana is down 10. So they've had better evenings, that's for sure. But you know what? Nobody likes a quitter. These guys are not quitting, never give up, and that's how you push through and always improve, isn't it, James?
That's correct. Absolutely.
You never want to give up. Yeah, especially in a car like this where there's so much to learn in that last 10 minutes. And I'm sure it's the same in the TCR world. Oh, it looks like Jeffrey Murillo has given up a spot to Dan Marrera. So Dan Marrera is up one spot into 20th. Here's Young Choi coming around with Mark Santana. It looks like Young Choi is now starting to make a bit of a gap to Mark Santana, and away they go.
Now, Michael, how do these cars' lap times, how do they change over the course of a 30-minute stint? Do they get faster? Do they slow down? I'm not actually too sure. The TCRs actually get faster every lap.
So, it looks like Corey Lazarus and Ryan Winfield are battling. I actually want to take a quick look at how that pass took place. Oh, and now look, Corey Lazarus is through. Let's take a quick look at how did that happen. Oh, and that is quite an aggressive move. I like it. Quite an aggressive move from Corey Lazarus. Beautifully done. Ryan Winfield left the door wide open. He walked through it and he said, "Thank you very much. I'm taking my Halloween candy." And now, and Corey, and here we go. Head down that back straight. It's going to be a 2 wide. Oh, and nope. Corey lost enough speed that now Ryan Winfeld is back ahead. And I want to follow along for another lap along these along with these guys here. I want to see if Ryan Winfeld leaves that door wide open again or not. Is he going to keep it closed? Is he going to run a tight line and just have zero trust for the car behind? Well, I mean, he obviously trusts that he's not going to get crashed into, but zero trust in that the guy won't take that space. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. What's your guess here, James?
So I'm thinking here in this situation, Ryan Winfeld, he's making a little bit of mistakes. He knows Lazarus is behind him. He's going to be feeling the pressure. He might even be driving in his mirrors a little bit, and that might be what's causing these little slip-ups. But he knows Lazarus is fast. Now, being the car behind, being Lazarus, he knows he has a slight pace advantage. So really what he should be doing is get a little bit focused. He lost the pass coming out of turn 3. He's going to want to focus up. He knows where he can pass him. He knows where he can faster. Now it's a matter of being smart, staying as close as you can on his bumper, and he's going to try to force an error from Winfeld there. Winfeld, he just needs to drive his drive. Don't look in your mirrors. Pay attention if he's going to make the pass. Don't make a mistake based on the person in your mirror.
Definitely. And is this the point in time that he makes a pass? He's going to make a move to the inside? No, he's just poking his nose. He is trying to get Winfield scared and shivering his timbers in his boots there, and making him think about it, making him keep watching the mirrors instead of looking ahead. And that's exactly the drive that Corey Lazarus has right now. And here we go, heading towards that heavy braking zone. Is Corey Lazarus going to take the inside? No, he's going to think better of it, and he's going to try and gain it on another lap. Heading along with Ryan Bickle, now has Adam Morrow directly in tow. Adam Morrow's getting closer and closer. Adam Morrow's cars, I gotta say, had better days. It's looking a little beat up. We're not sure how that happened, but Adam Morrow, he loves his motocross and he loves getting down and dirty, and it's exactly what he's done tonight, that's for sure. Oh, and there you go. And just by being there in the right spots, applying that pressure, and that's put Adam Morrow through Ryan Bickle. And sometimes that's strategy enough, is just to be close enough that you put that pressure, and there you go. Luckily for Ryan Bickle, he hasn't lost too many spots, just one it's looking like so far. Now following along with Aaron Hall, who's right ahead of Adam Morrow, and we're going to follow along with this story as it unfolds to see how long it takes Adam to catch up, or if he catches up at all. Aaron Hall, of course, is a very competent driver, but well, both cars have damage, so we'll see how this one goes. Corey Lazarus is even closer than he's ever been heading into turn 2. He is going for that inside. Car number 85 taking the inside before the long back straight. Let's see how this works out. It's anybody's guess. It's basically going to be a drag race down this back straight. Ryan Winfeld backs out, wants to get that draft, and he's going to try and draft him back and make another pass on him. Or is he going to wait it out and just wait till that last lap, hold that draft? Let's see what happens as they head down that back straight. Corey Lazarus guarding that inside under braking. Ryan Winfeld's got to tuck in behind and just swallow that pill that he was given, basically. So if you're Corey Lazarus, James, what would you be thinking right about now?
He's made the pass just off that back straight. Height technical section coming up. I'm going to be trying to maximize as much as I can in this technical section, hoping my skills are just a little bit better than Ryan behind me. Now, what I want to do is I don't want to really let him get close to me from turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, because those are the best passing opportunities. I want to build this gap in this technical section. I want to make sure I allow myself that little bit of breathing room before the passing opportunity so he can't get me back.
And I think you have a psychic ball, because that's exactly what we're seeing unfold right in front of our eyes. He's got about a 7/10 of a second gap. He's building it up as he goes through that tight technical section. And that may be enough if he can have a great turn 1, great turn 2. That'll be enough to keep Ryan Winfeld at bay. Now we're almost at 0.8 of a second gap. So, yeah, send me that psychic ball. I need it.
Send me your PO box. I'll put it in the mail tomorrow morning.
Oh, buddy, or is it a nice big rabbit's foot or something you got there? Following along with Tom Jenkins and Adrian Kukulas, as we saw them battle earlier, they're now side by side. I don't think they left each other alone yet, actually. And here we go. Close once again, heading into turn one. Tom Jenkins is the trailing car. Adrian Kukulas is the leading car. Adrian, it looks like he's throwing a little bit of a defensive line, but not enough. Tom Jenkins is making the dive, under braking up the inside. Adrian's going to have a much better exit and a much better run down this back straight. It's anybody's guess. Oh, he jumps that curve, and that is not going to help his straight line speed. He had to let off the throttle, and that's put Tom Jenkins in perfect position to make a pass. And let's see how it goes under braking. Oh, and Tom Jenkins got fully ahead, and that's brave, I gotta say, to go in front of a car before a very heavy braking zone and cut it that close. But Tom Jenkins, he has trust in that car behind him, car number 917 there. They've been at it all race long, so clearly they have trust in each other. And there you go. And unfortunately for the duo, it's now become a trio with Benjamin Roche. So we have another Canadian boy up here. I know you like the Canadian ones there, and James, and here you go. We got another Canadian one in the mix right here.
Yeah, Benjamin seems to be in this spot most of the race. He's up one spot. Benjamin knows, I think he's being really conservative, but this battling that's going on between Adrian Kukulas and Tom Jenkins, they've been using a lot of their tires. Now, this is exactly what Benjamin wants. He's slowly inching up on Adrian. If he just plays it smart, manages his tires a little bit more, I think over in the next few corners we might see a pass into that.
And we might see it right here. Here you go,
Oh,
Benjamin Roche. And it looks like Adrian is just letting him go. And I'm going to have to say that Adrian's tires are, they've seen better days. That's my best guess. And because you can see Tom Jenkins now has quite a gap to Adrian Kukulas here. And now Benjamin Roche has made his way through. So, yeah, it's looking like the tire wear after 26 minutes now. We got 3.5 minutes left to go. It's definitely been a huge factor for, let's call this car Jaws.
I love it. Jaws it is.
Jaws. We're going to go with Jaws. I don't even know your name anymore. It's 917. It's just Jaws. Let's see where Daniel Thomas is the winner of our sprint race. He's all the way up into 5th. And actually, let's take a look at last lap. You're asking about how the lap times go. Here's everyone's last lap. And also I'm going to bring up the weather because that is relevant. So you got 23 Celsius track temperature. Our qualifying was at 21 Celsius. So it's not a huge difference by any means. And our qualifying times pole was 138.8 on a qualifying setup. And then on the race setups, they're usually about 139s to high 139s and 140s. And so here you can see how much pace on average was lost by a lot of the drivers. You can lose sometimes 1 second to 2 seconds, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how, some of the top guys, it seems as they're losing tire performance, they're gaining it back in fuel going low. So it seems like the top guys are really managing their tires, keeping their pace high. They're really only losing about 1.5 seconds. I'd say that's actually not too bad considering how much of a difficulty it looks to be for some of the drivers lower down in the field. Not to discredit their driving ability, but really it just shows how impressive it is to actually be at the top.
Definitely. It's funny, when you're a good driver, you're smooth, and when you're smooth, you save the tires and you're faster. So it's almost like it compounds all together to be fast. Faster is faster. It's interesting. It's not. It's interesting. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And now we're following along with Brad. Oh, it looks like Aaron Hall. What happened to Aaron Hall? Aaron Hall crashed. I want to see what... Oh, Aaron Hall is now missing the bonnet. Let's see. Did he... What happened to Aaron Hall?
Oh,
Oh, he took a beach vacation and he just,
oh,
oh, he didn't quite make it back from that beach vacation. He encountered a hurricane. Oh, and it looks like he's going to
oh.
have to go into the pits. He was doing so well, and all of a sudden he's just not. And that's just an unfortunate situation for Aaron Hall. I was actually just thinking, hey, I should click to Aaron Hall and see if broadcaster curse will work. And look at that. Literally about 5 seconds later. I know he's going to shoot me for saying that, but it happened.
I was just gonna ask, is there a fast repair in this league?
You do have one fast repair. A lot of times it's not actually beneficial to use it. It's better to stay out and fight it out. But yeah, so Aaron Hall did decide to take it, and now he's down in the 14th. He was in, what, 7th position before, in 8th? And so yeah, that's going to hurt him in the long run for sure.
Yeah. When I have a mistake like that, the first thing I do after the race, go back, run the race again. Where did I go wrong? What should I have done differently?
Yeah, and here we go with Marco Velver. We haven't had much to say about him. Marco Velver is the leader of this race, coming across that finish line for the very last time. There's Barney waving the flag up in that tower. Congratulations, Marco Valverde, for winning that race. Corey Lazarus for second. Ryan Winfeld in third. Daniel Thomas all the way up to fourth. Manrique Valverde up to fifth. As we predicted, those two fast drivers making their way through the field. Marco Valverde, of course, taking that easy win. Martial Chauvel in 6th, Simon Fell in 7th, Adam Moore. Where is Adam Moore? I have no idea where he went. It just says he's out. That's unfortunate.
Quite unfortunate.
That's sad to see for one of my favorite Canadian drivers, my co-broadcaster on Sunday, of course, Adam Moore. Where was I? Simon Fell said Michael Carrillo in 8th, Ryan Bickle in 9th. We've got Bradley Hussey up 17 spots. What a great drive from Bradley. Benjamin Roche is in 10th as well. I can't miss that name. Aaron Hall, actually, after taking that fast repair, got his way back up into 12th. Michael M. David in 13th, having a great result. Anthony Rodriguez in 14th, and celebrations. Adrian Kukla is in 15. Dan Marrera in 16. And we've got Tom Jenkins in 17, Jeffrey Murillo 18, Mark Santana 19, Young Choi in 20, Adam Morrow is just dropping down the charts, Ignacio Vieto in 22, Jack Boot. Well, actually, I'm going to have to wait because Adam Morrow will keep dropping down these charts, and so we're going to have to see how many positions are gained, lost, and so on as we go. And there you go with Ignacio Vieto coming across the line for the last time. And I'll be able to pull up those results. And before we go through these results, I'm just curious to hear, after watching your first Porsche Cup race and now being a broadcaster commentator, what are your first thoughts on just the Porsche Cup race with this size field?
I have to say, I'm a little jealous I wasn't on the track today. I enjoyed being here, of course, but I see this. I do okay in Formula 4. I do pretty well in TCR. I kind of wish I wish I was on track. I might need to take another stab at this.
Definitely, we'd all love to have you out there. I'm sure you're going to be fast for a few laps, and then it's just an easy position gain. No, I'm just shots fired. No, I'm sure you'll figure it out if you give it enough time. It's a challenge that's definitely worth trying to overcome. As you can see, it's quite a fun field with 20 to 30 cars out there, and the double races. It's a lot of fun. And so now I've got the results pulled up here. We've got Marco Valverde was the winner of our feature race. Congratulations. And congratulations for Corey Lazarus and Ryan Winfeld for rounding out those podium spots. Daniel Thomas coming across in 4th. Manrique Valverde in 5th. Martial Chauvel in 6th. Simon Fell in 7th. Looks like he's going to be leading that charge once again for the amateur division with quite a finish just like that. Michael Carrillo in 8th, Ryan Bickle in 9th, Benjamin Roche in 10th, Bradley Husty in 11th, Aaron Hall in 12th. Michael David having a real great finish in 13th. Anthony Rodriguez in 14th. Adrian Kukulas 15th. Dan Marrere in 16th. Dan Marrere having a tough time at it, from what I saw. Tom Jenkins having a great run at it with Adrian Kukulas. How did that happen? I thought Tom Jenkins was ahead of Adrian, and now they've swapped. So there must have been some last lap chaos and fun for Tom Jenkins. A little bit of an off track, perhaps. But Tom Jenkins is now in 17th. Jeffrey Murillo 18th. Mark Santana 19. Young Choi 20. Ignacio Vieto 21. Adam Moore all the way down to 22nd. That's a sad sight to see. Kevin Sadu 23. Ariel Julian 24. Jack Booster 25. Chuck Baker 26. Mark Lampert 27. Aiden Aquino 28. Patrick Hingston didn't even start, and I don't even think Carlos Odalora started. And there you go. That's my challenge of the evening, is to say all those names. So there we go. That's our Race for Porsche Cup challenge. Is there any final thoughts that you have, James?
I guess my one question is, I don't remember, unfortunately. Are these open or fixed setups?
These are fixed setups. And for this season so far, the reason we've done fixed setups is everyone has the exact same car. You know, a lot of times in races, especially open setup races, or if multi cars in the same class, you wonder, was it the car that was making me slower, or the setup? You always try and you almost chase your own tail, you know. And so what we have here is everyone is on the exact same car, exact same setup. So that person that beat you, it was driver difference. You'll always know that. And that's one of the main reasons we've gone with the fixed setup. And it's just also ease of use of everyone has something very easy and consistent to practice with. So we definitely love our fixed setup for those reasons. So yeah.
Well, thank you for explaining that to me. I love that. Ryan Winfeld, I think he did a great job. You know, I think he started P3 and he finished P3. You know, that, it doesn't show, there's nothing glamorous about that. It was a nice, steady, consistent drive, made no mistakes. I love that. I love to see that as well. Shout out to Ryan.
Sounds like you got a favorite driver.
Yeah, we might.
Yeah, and you may see him in TCRs actually in ATC. So yeah, okay, and that is the end of our broadcast. And hope you all had fun. I know me and James definitely did. And we'll see you next week, Thursday, and the Euro Division at Hockenheim on Sunday. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for coming out.